And as we look ahead to heavyweights, an intriguing matchup. 16th ranked Jimmy Mullen, third at the Southeast Open last week. 20 of his 17 wins a year ago. Bonus point victories for the NCAA qualifier. Meanwhile, Lucas Lawler, the true freshman, one of the top recruits for Bucknell.
Yeah, I know the coaching staff at Bucknell is really excited about Lucas Lawler. Young guy coming in, but just a ton of upside for him, and needs some experience, needs some minutes on the mat under his belt. But they're looking for him to make a splash right away. And they're deep in heavyweight, right? So they've also got Logan Shepard, who was ranked in the country. So they've got a couple of studs at heavyweight.
Here comes the guy that Coach Roby referred to as the mayor of Blacksburg, also saying everyone loves Jimmy. Here is Jimmy Mullen, ACC finalist last year and a crowd favorite.
Everybody loves Jimmy Mullen. Brings a ton of energy, just a super likable guy. Wrestles with a lot of energy. Was on the football team, has made the transition to full-time, just wrestling, just focused on wrestling now.
Both of these guys were big-time recruits. What an opportunity for Lawler. And Mullen wrestled well last week after a loss to Coy Hopke of Minnesota. Came back with a tech fall of 22nd ranked Nolan Nevis of UNC. And Mullen, as a heavyweight, he can really score from an offensive standpoint.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's got a ton of tools. He's athletic, he's big, he's strong, he's quick, he can wrestle. He can score from a lot of different positions. So yeah, and he's aggressive. A lot of times at heavyweight, a lot of guys will play a more tactical match, kind of pick their spots. But he just kind of goes out there and wrestles and goes after it. In on a low single here. Can't quite finish, but I mean, I think the thing for Mullen is he's got to clean up his wrestling a little bit. I mean, he's got all the talent in the world, and the sky's the limit for him, athletically and ability-wise. But just the experience of now he's full-time wrestling. Needs to kind of clean up technically some things. And he's gonna turn some heads for sure.
And Coach Roby mentioned that he's bigger and stronger than when he was at the NCAA championships in March to right now. There's Lawler. Mullen, creative, able to scramble there.
Yeah, that's just one of those things. He takes kind of it was a decent shot, but kind of wild, kind of like left his arms a little bit wide, just kind of dove in. And then was able to get re-attacked by Lawler. And, against the best guys in the country, that's, not something he's going to get away with. So he's really got to be a little bit cleaner just on some of his attacks. But it's kind of it's a fine line of being tactical and so much like a chess match and then just going and, just letting it fly. So, he's got to figure out what works for him. And I think it's just going out and being really aggressive and trying to score points. He might give up some points, but he's going to score a lot of points too.
Scoreless here late in the first period. Lawler went 3-1 at the Navy Classic last week, including a 4-1 win over Cooper Rudolph of Virginia. A lighter heavyweight that can move is what Coach Wernsberger mentioned to us.
One more.
Yeah, and over time he'll probably fill into the heavyweight role. I mean, he's young. He'll put on some size. Nice underhook by Jimmy Mullen here. Double unders here. And he likes that trip. He does like to go for that double under and trip. And he can do it. I mean, I think it was an ACC tournament last year. He did that. And it's really slick when it works out. And it's hard to wrestle a guy that can go upper body and lower body. A lot of guys are like all upper body and there's not a whole lot they can do. Jimmy can do both.
Look at the upcoming schedule for Bucknell. I mean, look at the non-conference list. Oklahoma, Wisconsin, Pitt, Virginia. Coach mentioned that, when these guys come D1, you're signing up to go D1. Let's go wrestle the best.
Yep, and if you're gonna be the best, you got to beat the best. So you got to put yourself in those positions against tough opponents early on in the year, so that's not your first time doing it at the national tournament. So you got to act like you've been there before. You have to have been there before if you're going to do it at the end of the year.
Also mentioning the alumni and fan base is a great chance to see them wrestle nationally ranked teams. An escape from Mullen. There he is driving.
Another shot.
What have you liked here from Lawler, the freshman?
Yeah, I mean, he's stout defensively. You know, he's not giving up the legs. I mean, Jimmy's, you know, taken quite a few shots and just hasn't been able to penetrate. You know, I'd like to see Lawler get to some offense of his own, but I do think he's probably a little hesitant because, I mean, Jimmy's a big boy. He's got strong hips. So he's got to pick his spots there. I mean, he's given up a ton of weight. He doesn't want to get trapped underneath there. But he did have a nice re-attack off of one of Mullen's shots earlier in the match. Just couldn't quite finish it. But, you know, so maybe, like re-attacks off Jimmy's shot. But he's got to get something going because really he's not putting Jimmy Mullen in any danger at this point.
See if either can find some offense late in the second period. And fighting will take us to the third period. 1-0 Jimmy Mullen on an escape. Look at the upcoming schedule for Virginia Tech. You also talk about wrestling tough in addition to the ACC. Look at that non-conference slate.
Yeah, they're going to the national duels, and they're going to have Minnesota first round, and then they'll wrestle, you know, one of those other two, Ohio State or Wyoming. So, Virginia Tech is always going to wrestle a tough schedule. They're going to host Oklahoma State here in Castle later in the year. Again, it's one of those things, like if you're on the recruiting trail, you want to sell the fact that you're going to be in some big-time matches and wrestle some good competition and go beat the best guys. And then that is going to set yourself up for your success at the end of the year as well.
90 seconds left. A pair of escapes. The lone points.
You know, one thing I did see at the end of that second period there, a year ago, Jimmy probably would have tried to force a shot at the end of the period, try to get a takedown, and I saw him do that a few times. With like 10 seconds left, you don't need to do that. You got to be a little bit smarter, and he showed that there. You could tell he kind of was twitching. He kind of wanted to, but I mean, I think that's experience at play, and not trying to force something that's not there. Jimmy Mullen back to the underhook.
.40 seconds left. Will this finish in regulation, or will we go to overtime to close this Friday night? An exciting finish on the way.
And again, there's no need to force something right here. I mean, if nobody scores here, you're going to go to overtime to be in the exact same position. So you don't need to just force something at the end of the period just to try to win in regulation.
Both wrestlers were aware of what you just said, and we will go for the second time tonight to overtime. The first time was 165, a thriller between Noah Mulvaney and Mac Church. 12-9 win for Mulvaney. Here we go to overtime. First points win.
Going back to his underhook.
Sudden victory. It's 2 minutes for the opening period. There's Mullen. Quickly recovering is Lawler.
Yeah, I haven't really seen any offense out of Lawler.
Mullen. Underhook.
So yeah.
And there he is driving, losing his power. Lawler, the defense. He's in on a shot. Some of his first real offense.
Wow.
Lawler has the single leg shot. Side of the mat. Bucknell bench wants it, and they're going to say off the mats. And look at Coach Warrensberger. Can't believe it.
Yeah, I think that the toe of Lawler just barely went out of bounds.
Coach Warrensberger can't believe.
I don't know if they're wanting to flee in the mat, but that was impressive by Lawler because he actually did get it on a shot and was able to kind of control Jimmy's hips. And Jimmy's got big, strong hips. So that, it was kind of a low-risk shot out of bounds. So, yeah, I mean, he hasn't really done anything in the center of their mat, but that was a pretty smart shot on that last one. But let's see what happens here at the end of it.
8 seconds left.
Jimmy Mullen
Mullen
on a shot.
driving with
Nothing
5. Mullen with 3. Can he finish? We continue to wrestle. Almost a winner for Jimmy Mullen.
Yeah, I mean, that was so close. I mean, I think I might have to go back and look at the replay. I think if it would have kind of dropped into both ankles, then that would have been the clincher. Okay, but now we're going to go to ride out. So each wrestler is going to have an opportunity, 30-second chance on top and bottom. So Lawler's going to go down first. After 30 seconds, Jimmy will have an opportunity to go down. So really the key here is you just want to ride him. If you're on top, you just want to ride. If you're on bottom, or get back points, or not give up in reversal.
Wow! The challenge brick has been thrown by Tony
really needs to
Roby.
get out here.
The reversal from Lawler to close this 30-second overtime period. Unbelievable.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, that's exactly what you can't have happen if you're Jimmy Mullen. Give up a reversal. I think Roby's challenging that he wants it to be near fall. Yeah, I think they want near fall. I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think he wants near fall. All right, so sucks him back. And then tries to put it to his back, gives up the reversal. I couldn't tell in real time, but I don't know that there was enough there for near fall. Let's see if we count. 1, 2, maybe. Depends on how fast you count. And you see the reaction there on that reversal. I mean, that's, in ride-outs, that's the last thing you can do is give up a reversal.
It was such a great move in a match that there has not been much offense.
Right.
What a 10-second sequence.
Yep.
Again, looking
now,
to see.
Yeah, I mean, look, initial rule. So, do we know what they're challenging?
Did not quite hear our lead official, Scott Hall. We'll try and get an explanation. Again, it looked like the brick was thrown right before the reversal call. So to your point, could be looking for the near fall points.
There's no way that wasn't a reversal. But I think it's just was there back points before the reversal. So let's just assume that there was no back points. So Jimmy's going to go down. He's down 3-1. He's going to have to get an escape and a takedown or a reversal of zone. So, and Lawler's not been called for stalling, so he'd have to get a reversal or an escape. Lawler will still be up 3-2, and he can kind of stall out.
Long look at the monitor for Scott Hall and Gary Wade. And the initial ruling was no back points and a reversal. What a moment.
There's no near fall. Bucknell has 14 seconds left.
Okay, so you heard
also
it.
trying to figure out the riding time too, yeah.
No near fall. Of course, the reversal stands, no doubt about that. So here we go, 30 seconds left. Neutral the position.
Okay, so Jimmy Mullen just decides to go neutral, not waste time. So he's got to go get a takedown here.
Defense from Lawler. Mullen's going to reset with 20 seconds.
Double unders.
Using
going
his...
for the throw.
10 seconds left. Lawler trying to hang on. Does Mullen have one more shot? With 6 seconds, he's got to go with 5. Lawler's backing up. A stall is called with 2. Horn sounds. And the true freshman has a signature win in his first year with the Bison. Lucas Lawler, the freshman from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, fired up.
Come on, guys.
3-2 decision over 16th ranked Jimmy Mullen.
Yeah, big win for Lawler. I mean, he came out and took it on the road in a hostile environment. He just came out, wrestled a smart match, a tactical match. Didn't put himself in danger. And just put himself in a position to win. Took advantage of a mistake by Jimmy Mullen in the overtime. And, yeah, I mean, he's a young kid. He's a stud. He's got a lot of potential. So it's a good win for him.
One more look at the reversal.
Trying to get backs and just, Jimmy went for broke there. And, I kind of saw red and tried to get the back points, but ultimately went against it.
All right, so Dave, we saw 10 weight classes. Overall thoughts from this one? What's top of mind here? The first Friday night duels of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bucknell's got a gritty team. I think they came out and fought. I mean, the Hokies looked good at a lot of weights. I mean, they dominated. The matches that they won, they really did dominate. But even if the score didn't show, there wasn't a lot of bonus points. But I think both of these. It's the second time out for both of these teams. It's early in the season. People are getting used to their weight cut. They're just trying to the coaches are figuring out what they have, and it's early. So, two good teams going at it. It was fun to watch.
It's just so great that college wrestling is back. That'll do it for our coverage tonight for our entire outstanding ACC Network team. Dave Maroney, I'm Evan Hughes saying so long from Castle. 19-12 Virginia Tech is the final. To watch this entire match on replay as well as others on ACC Network, download the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.